it's Supermoon Tarot here, back at it again with another pick-a-card. Today, I not only have a question I will be answering for you today, but I also have a sort of announcement, to your benefit, of course. But first, let's talk about the question we're going to be answering. Will you meet somebody new and soon? Now we're putting it all out on the table. So, I mean, literally we're on a table. So we're going to be talking about one-night stands, flings, somebody you'll date for a little while, even a full-blown twin flame or soulmate connection. Whatever comes through, I will be sharing it, and I will be either giving you a yes or a no. And of course, if it comes through, I will be giving a yes, but, or a no, however, whatever tarot has to give you message-wise. And if it is a yes, I will be pulling zodiac signs. Now, let's get into these sort of announcement. I can't hardly keep it in. I just wanted to say thank you so much for 5,000 subscribers. I'm so unbelievably happy and very thankful and appreciative. So as a sort of a thank you and a kind of like connecting to you sort of thing, I'm going to be giving away a free private reading. Woo! And all you have to do to enter is to be a subscriber and to leave a comment on this particular video. It can be any sort of comment, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to be just picking somebody who matches up in that those two ways, and then be letting them know and picking a winner. And I will let you guys know when I have chosen winner. I will announce it so you're not kind of like hanging and waiting and hearing about it. Now, I'm gonna probably give this a week, maybe two, before I give a winner. I want to give everyone a chance to know about it and to apply. But remember, it's a comment to this particular video I'm going to be choosing the winner from. Anyways, let's go back to the tarot reading. We've got group number 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to give you a moment in order to pick. Once you finish picking whatever group you resonate with most, the timestamp is in the description below. Let's get started with group number 1. Group number 1, let's answer the question, will you meet someone new and soon? Your oracle card is Protecting Treasure Upright. Your first tarot card is, ooh, the Moon upright, so mysterious. Queen of Swords upright, 6 of Cups upright, Temperance upright, and Wheel of Fortune upright. Okay, so the reason why this is like a side note, but something I thought I'd share with you. I don't get the Wheel of Fortune enough in people's spreads. It's an awesome positive card, but it's a card that, it's kind of like the cherry on the sundae of like a positive thing, because it's just you're not in control of it. So the best way I can put this is, in life, when you're accomplishing things or figuring out what to do, there's 3 different ways that things can go down. 1, you have spirit. Spirit is going to make it happen in some situations, whether you want it to or not, or if you're worried about it working out, spirit's on your side in some situation. And it's like, it's a purely fueled by them. Then you've got yourself. It's all about you and your own decisions. You're really the main factor, and it is really all up to what you decide. But then we got the third option. The third option is what I like to describe as the chaotic option, is luck. Luck is so chaotic whether it's on your side or not. And keep in mind, if things aren't going your way, that doesn't necessarily mean you have bad luck. It just means things might not be going your way. But in the rare cases, and I do say rare, when I get luck on somebody's side, it's an awesome positive omen, and kind of just it's like chaos working in your favor, so to speak. So now, I do want to point out, we'll just cut to the chase first of all. Yes, you're going to totally meet somebody new soon, but there's something interesting going on here, because over here we have a bit of a I don't want to be dramatic and say sinister, but something going on here that's a little kind of sketchy going on. But then we have all of these positive cards saying that everything's going to turn out okay. So we'll get into what this is. And this is a turn out positive type of situation. So I can see by here and all of these cards here and how they're interacting with each other that you have been hurt before. And you've been kind of sitting at home, so to speak, for a while now when it comes to being emotionally available in relationships. Either just straight up not dating and staying away from it, or every time you feel like you're about to get close to someone, you kind of pull away, or you know there's this version of yourself you're protecting. In protecting treasure, well, she is on a treasure. This card can be often described as protecting your egg. Now, the egg is the metaphorical part of you that is the most vulnerable part of you. It's truly who makes you you. I like to describe it as your magic, your flow, the thing that gives you your spark in life, everything. And you were hurt. And you were like, you know what? I'm going to stay away from, I'm going to make the right decision right now for myself. I'm going to protect my egg. I'm going to take care of myself. But protecting treasure upright is so beautiful because it's about talking about a risk. Remember, I told you some sketchy things going on here. There is a risk going on, and it's a risk to get out there. However, not only have you done what you needed to do to protect your egg, and your egg is stronger and healed than where it has been before, but Spirit's going to protect your egg. So you've got that double edge thing going on of you taking care of it as well as Spirit. This is super on your side and making sure you're okay. And now is the time to kind of get out there again and meet people and open yourself up again. So you can also trust not only you've taken the time to do it, you're on the other side of healing. I'm not saying you're not going to still be sensitive and feel a little cautious, and that's fine, but you're a lot stronger than you know or realize you are, is the best way to put it. So you've got tools in your proverbial emotional belt that are going to help you and be your strong points, and they get melded together in the Six of Cups. These are then coming together and working together that get brought over into this situation. So in the Queen of Swords, this is somebody who's able to speak their mind frankly. When this pops up to me, this shows me that maybe in the past you were not someone that was able to just be able to be frank about how they speak about themselves. But it's not about just standing up for yourself. That's not specifically what this card is about. It's about speaking about when you don't like something or you do like something and not being so emotionally tied up in if it's going to hurt the other person. You're more concerned about the truth for yourself, the truth with your other partner, and you want to speak frankly and just kind of cut through all the, fat and the lies or anything that's kind of in between you and your partner potentially getting close. You've kind of finally made amends with yourself and know, like, you know what, I'm not a bad person if I need to say I don't like something, or I am okay with being unabashedly myself. It's not about confrontation, it's just about unbiased judgment. But then at the same time, you also have this, and this is where the beautiful blend of these two working come together, is you have temperament. Or I'm sorry, not temperament, temperance. I'm trying to change the tense and stuff of this. So anyways, temperance is about balance. But compared to it being about balance, like in the Two of Pentacles or the Two of Cups, a lot of other twos and balance and stuff like that, temperament's interesting. It's less about just two things working out. It's about mixing together. It's a bit of an alchemist card, you could see it as that, of mixing together the proper proportions of a multitude of different things at the right time, in the right vicinity. There's a lot going on. It's a much more difficult, in my opinion. Yin and yang seems very, yin and yang and balance seems super simplified in reality of life. That's often why when you're being given spiritual advice, you're just suddenly like, wait a minute, I have to be calm, but also direct. And it's like, yes, it's all of these things in the right measurement when they're needed. So you've kind of figured that out. You can trust yourself because you have strength in your balance and your strength in your directness. And both of these are beautifully working together to help yourself grow and bloom again and make you go from just being somebody who's protecting themselves, just the baseline of survival, to really flourishing. That flourishing gets continued on in the Wheel of Fortune. This is ruled by Jupiter, which is a planet that is very expansive. This is like greater than the surroundings, your surroundings, and just wanting to grow and expand, and no longer being at home is enough for you when you want to keep getting out there and blooming more and more and more. So all of this, oh, and I don't know if I've mentioned this yet. I kind of like just talk and I don't even think about it, but I do want to point out that this person that's going to come into your life, I can see here, 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 and here. This is a very significant person. I'm not seeing the exact card combinations that would point to just straight up being like, oh yeah, this is going to be your twin flame soulmate connection. This is, I'm not saying that can't be there. I'm just saying what's more important that tarot wants you to know is that this is something that has to do with karma. This is just something that's going to greatly and positively affect your life. And they want you to be aware of and of that, the significance, because you're going to, this is not going to be like a one-time short thing. It's not going to be a fling, basically. So now let's get to the risk, the point I wanted to make with that I wanted to point out that I thought was so interesting in comparison. So you're taking all of this luck, these lessons you've learned, your past healing, and you're bringing it into this person. So the moon card is really interesting here. This is your person that's being shown here. This is somebody who, when you first meet them, they're going to kind of sell you on a lie of who they really are. But this isn't just universally held for a negative thing, like somebody who's being abusive, or they want to cheat and lie to you, and this is like a negative sign. This can often be done in a way of somebody feeling shy and feeling insecure about who they really are, and maybe they feel daunted by how amazing you come across now that you've really healed and kind of feel like a full-fledged human going back out there, and they're not quite sure if they can be themselves. They also might be in the middle of their own journey. When you meet your soulmate, it doesn't mean that you're both just perfect. I often do readings where two people meet that have great significance with each other, and they're total messes, and by being together, they heal and become better versions of themselves. So that's what I think is so interesting here, especially with the Queen of Swords choosing to face the moon. It looks like whatever's going on here, again, I talked about how Protecting Treasure talks about there being a risk. It's like there's this risk, and they're not being honest with themselves, with you fully initially. But then it looks like you're going to cut through all of that. You're going to be like, listen, I see you're, being a fake. I can see you're not giving me the whole truth. What's going on? But when I see the Wheel of Fortune popping up, all this good stuff, I just think that it's all going to be okay. And it's going to kind of move somewhere really positive. But keep in mind, you're going to run into something where you'll be feeling really great. You'll start to notice kind of the in-between, cracks popping up in their stories and stuff like that. And don't let that just persuade you or make you think this isn't the person you should kind of get to know. It is. Go with it. Figure out, and this is the main thing you want to pay attention to. Both of these cards are talking about covering something up. The real question is, why are they covering it up? It's not just what are they covering up. It's not about the lie. It's why. What made them feel like they needed to hide themselves? You know what that feels like. You had to hide yourself. You had to protect yourself. What's going on here? That's important to know. And I think there's like a deeper thing that's going to bloom here, especially when I see these popping up. Yeah, this is super significant, which is super cool. So now let's pull a couple of zodiac signs. I'm just going to shuffle around these cards. I'm going to pull 3 zodiac signs that's going to pop up of potential people so you can help identify them easier. Okay. They are going to either be an Aquarius, a Taurus, or a Gemini, somewhere in their signs, their birth chart, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about, the main signs. I can never get the lingo down. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this reading as much as I did. Please give it a like and subscribe. It helps out the channel like you would not believe. Either way, guys, have a lovely day. I'll talk to you in the next one. And let's get ready for group number 2. Group number 2. Let's answer the question, will you meet someone new and soon? Okay, your oracle card is Heal the Ouch. Still one of the funniest oracle cards I've ever seen named. Your first tarot card is the Sun, upright. the Emperor upright, Two of Pentacles in reverse, Page of Pentacles in reverse, and your last card is Nine of Cups upright. Oh, I love Nine of Cups. Everybody wants the lovers. Everybody wants the Two of Cups. Me, I want the Nine of Cups. This is the end-all, be-all, most positive, get everything you want, manifestation, everything possible you could want. Love the Nine of Cups. So I'm absolutely thrilled that you got the Nine of Cups. Okay, so let me look at these cards for a bit of context. Okay, so to cut to the chase, the answer is no. It looks like you're not going to meet someone right now. It looks like you're too preoccupied with needing to heal. It looks like you haven't quite... did you hear that? Sorry for the interruption. I think there's a woodpecker on my roof. Do you hear that? Okay, sorry about that. Let's ignore that. Apologies. Okay, back. What was I saying? Okay, so anyways, heal the ouch. What was I saying? So you're currently needing to do this, and you haven't quite gotten into the motion yet. So that's the main thing that's kind of holding you back from being from someone else. I can see the other big clues are the fact that the Emperor is somebody who's has to be alone and feels quite isolated and ruling. So there's the alone card there. Here's your alone card here with the Nine of Cups, but this is a positive alone card. Here's some isolation here. The Sun card talks about paying attention to yourself, making yourself the main priority. So the reason why someone can't come into your life right now is it's just not the right time. You need to take care of yourself first. I do want to share the message that one of the main problems, sorry about that, one of the main problems going on here is the fact that you've kind of got this, like, I don't know how to describe it, this person who's dealing out the punishment. You know, you're beating yourself up when you get something wrong. You're being way too harsh with yourself, and you let yourself know it in a non-helpful criticizing rather than critiquing way. If you're not aware, critiquing is a positive way of letting someone know what they can do in order to improve themselves or improve their project or something like that. Criticism is just like putting somebody down. And then at the same time, while you're taking on that role, you're also the person that feels like you have to grovel and impress, other people. You kind of lower yourself. This is kind of coming from less of a working hard sort of ethic and more of a lack of confidence and thinking less of yourself. It's okay to impress other people and work hard and show your talents and abilities, but this is coming from a not thinking what you have to offer is enough. Now, I can see the main thing going on here, the main thing that's kind of like got you in a mess or makes you feel like a mess, is over here in the Two of Pentacles in reverse. I can see that you were really busy before. You were having to multitask a lot of different things going on. And unfortunately, it got to be so much, and what was barely working out, suddenly it just kind of all went to hell, and now nothing seems to be working out, and you're starting to slip up, you're starting to have lots of errors, and all of these minute little things going on are starting to really like eat away at you, and you're starting to define yourself by it. And then at the same time, we have the Page of Pentacles. Now, this talks about, this is more advice, but it is something to take note of. This is, it's almost like the idea of failure. Again, you're viewing this as failure, but this also views this failure as a lack of progression. So you're really fixated on all of these things. So you're fixated, it's like a glass half empty type of perspective. You're seeing all these things that you're failing. You're then making it become a bigger deal and making it seem as if it's holding off everything else. And so, if I mess up here, then I won't get this. And it's just blowing up out of proportion more and more and more. But the Page of Pentacles in reverse asks us to understand why we failed and then learn from it. And often it's not about learning from your failure purely just like, oh, maybe you should have organized that better. I don't see anything about the Two of Wands here. This is not about disorganization. This is about understanding you beating yourself up. Because the big thing is you're bringing all of this like sense of failure and mess ups and errors and having to impress and handle everything at once and taking on all of this responsibility over to somebody else. And there's this kind of like fighting yourself out. Where do you get to heal in this? I only see negativity and punishment and this kind of cycle you need to break free from, essentially. Now, I can see simultaneously we have heal the ouch, where we talked about you need to get this out of this mentality and just focus on taking care of yourself right now. But there's a lot of positive things going on here with the fox being here and the sun. So the sun is about paying attention to yourself in a really positive way. It's not like, oh, you're so hurt, this is the end, you just need to tuck yourself away from the world for some time. It's about healing through fun. So is the fox as a spirit animal. The spirit animal talks about the idea that wisdom comes from playfulness and humor. So in you going out there and just taking care of yourself, having fun, spending some time with friends, that type of thing, maybe spend a little more time in extracurricular type of activities that would relieve you from the stress of your, whether this be work or your daily errands and duties, whatever you're taking care of, you're going to find that just by having a good time, you're going to find the healing and the clarification and, like I said before, the wisdom, the insight, the epiphany you need in order to kind of correct this mindset. And this is something to note. Like, if you find yourself beating yourself up, stop being the enforcer, but also stop thinking you need to impress and grovel. You can just take care of things. It can just be very matter of fact. But then this is where the cool part comes in. So we have this playfulness, this whatever, turning away from all of this, kind of cutting off, putting a nice little wall. And this is even a really fun wall if you want to think of it, because we talk about the act of playfulness getting repeated throughout the spread. She built a little sand castle. Her wall is very frivolous and silly and cute. This is in the Nine of Cups, like I said. This talks about the idea of getting what you want and exactly what you want, which is so cool. It's one of those, like, it can sound so good and amazing. Often we think, what's the catch? But there's like no catch here. It's really that amazing and positive. So this is somebody who is alone and personally satisfied. So once you find that sense of personal satisfaction with just being alone and kind of getting out of this cycle and all this positive stuff, it looks like you could potentially, when you feel more up to it, definitely have the ability to manifest the thing you want. Because something I do want you to take note of, and I think this is just like, I can't think of like a better metaphor. This is how I like to view people, humans, especially when it comes to tarot reading and stuff like that. So we're all getting to the same point or purpose, right? Or thing, right? But, and by the way, I'm being very ambiguous about this, but there's this, just consider this central point, this concept of like happiness and fulfillment, right? But to get there, we are like puzzle pieces, and our puzzle pieces, if they're all completed and whole, is the happiness, is everything coming into alignment, all being together. But if maybe you have a few pieces missing here, and for somebody else, they have a few pieces missing here and here. You all need to hear, everybody, including myself, need to hear something different than somebody else, because that's what you're missing. So when I see the Nine of Cups being here, and your ability and drive popping up, and just your concern about it, but your ability to connect and your method of healing is through fun, it looks like you're right there. You're right there to have everything you potentially want. It's just this one little thing, this one last little puzzle piece you need to think about working on, and then everything else is totally in sync. So that's just like a really happy food for thought to take note of. So no, you're not going to meet someone right now, but take care of yourself, have some fun, and the potential is limitless in the future. So that's a really awesome thing I get to be able to tell you. So if you enjoyed this reading, please consider giving a like and subscribing. It helps out like you would would not believe. Either way, guys, have a wonderful day. I'll see you in the next one, and let's get ready for group number 3. Group number 3, let's answer the question, will you meet someone new and soon? The oracle card is goblins. Okay, that is super interesting. Then we have Justice card upright. Okay, the plot thickens. 5 of Pentacles in reverse. Can already see a narration popping up here. The Hermit. 7 of Swords in reverse. Yep, the Devil. Begins and ends with shadow. That's so interesting. Okay, so I'm going to cut to the chase and give you, it's a bit of a catch. So yes, you're going to meet someone new. In fact, actually, they're nearby, but you're not aware of it. You are kind of distracted, so to speak. And this spread will help you kind of open your eyes and make you be aware of how close by they are and that they are trying to reach out to you or interested in you. In fact, actually, Spirit's kind of giving me this sensation it will often give me that lets me know that they're close by. It's this sort of feeling like someone's watching you or coming up right behind you, but in a non-scary or sinister sort of way, in a positive, they're nearby sort of way. Now, the reason why I think you're unaware, which is really interesting, is not that you're not ready. It's not about that at all. It's not about needing more time to heal or you're not in the right time in your life. Nothing like that. It just seems like you're preoccupied because of a past relationship going on here. I can see this here in Goblins and the Devil. Again, I talked about shadow or shadow self. Now, let me give a bit of a clarification of what shadow self is. Shadow self is the part of yourself when you see somebody maybe flirt with your loved one and you feel jealous. Or someone says a little comment to you to put you down and your instant reaction is anger. It's that little part of yourself that naturally arises because it's trying to express something that you're subconsciously not connecting to yet. So it goes for kind of like the quicker, more way of approaching the situation. I hope I explained that right. But the thing about shadow self is it's an internal thing we all deal with all the time. But there is a version of our shadow selves, and I'm pointing this out here, that is caused from the trauma of a past experience with someone else. And this is very open-ended. Now, in your case, it is a relationship, like romantic relationship, but I'm also referring to the idea that it could be maybe with a parent, a friend. It can be pretty open-ended, but in this case, it's a relationship that has caused this version of yourself. So let's start off with Goblins. Goblins as a card, the reason why I think it's so interesting is it's one of the best metaphors I've come across that explains the way trauma works and how it can feel as well as what it can turn into. So goblins, and keep in mind this is all a metaphor, are born from wounds we experience from a negative, relationship, a negative time period, whatever it is, it's creating wounds, and these little goblins are born. Now, the thing that's so dangerous about goblins is they whisper little negative things into your ear about yourself. This is how you develop a sense of lack of confidence or some sort of a feeling of not being good enough, that type of thing. And they are able to mimic your voice. So these words and thoughts being in your head, you start to, over time, think that they're your own thoughts. So it's all full of it. It's all not real. It's all what someone else has projected on you. Think of it as when a bully is bullied so much that they, in turn themselves, become a bully in the long run. I'm not saying you're going to be that. I'm not talking about that at all. I'm just giving you examples. The Devil. Let's start off here. This is your person who was your vice, so to speak, your addiction. It seems like you were aware that they weren't great for you, but they just seem to always keep tempting you and pulling you back in with things that felt like, now this could be an offer of an opportunity, This could be just maybe the sort of affection you weren't receiving from somebody else. And, you know, sometimes people that have this sort of persona are really good at being able to sell themselves in a very romantic fairy tale movie-esque way. So you experience some of these really kind of key changing romantic experiences, and it's really hard to walk away. But either way, you have walked away from them. But it looks like some information you finally needed to kind of understand or click or whatever, whether it be about yourself or them, kind of came to the surface, and that was what enabled you to pull away from them. And then you really retreated internally to kind of, and this isn't necessarily a bad thing, you kind of needed to look over that information, think about everything, think about, you know, what it meant, how it defined you, but it started to kind of make you overthink. That's what's the main thing going on here that's pulling you away. Because there's part of yourself that just wants to keep going over the same information time and time again. We've got Bob over here, if you understand that reference, who this is kind of like the devil still, it's like he's still haunting, or he or she is still haunting your thoughts. And you just really want to make sure it doesn't happen again. But in wanting it to not happen, it's become an overthinking process that got transferred over to the Justice card. We'll get to that in 1 second. So there's part of you that's still pulling in and wants to just kind of, you've already marinated enough in this information. You're overdoing it now, but you can't seem to pull away necessarily. And then there's a part of you that's just struggling to pull out of this situation and get out into the world. You know, you've been away from this person long enough. It's not a healing situation, but it's more your concern with mistakes. This comes in with the Justice card. This is a card about cause and effect. And you're really aware of, morally, I think there's part of you that when I see this kind of moral sort of stance, it's almost as if you're concerned about making the same mistakes this other person did, as well as making the mistakes that made you be with this person and stick around. But you're also so aware of the not great things they did, you are concerned about the well-being of others. So it's kind of a bit of everything. With yourself, you don't want to make the same mistakes for yourself, and you also really care about other people, and you don't want to hurt them the way you saw the potential of hurting other people. But the problem is you're so consumed with this back and forth moralistically of like, what's good, what's bad, what if I do this, what if it equals this kind of back and forth thing. It's already a struggle to get out there, and this is like one of the biggest roadblocks. See this little shadow here? Who actually looks like, may I mention, Batman. Doesn't that kind of look like Batman? With the little ears. Anyways, this is your person kind of waiting in the background for you to get out of your head, wake up. They're right there. They're waiting for you. You don't need to worry. You will make the right decision. The fact that you even care or you're thinking about it so much, you're going to be okay. We're going to be okay with this person, all that jazz. But you're really making it much more difficult for yourself than you really need to. You've marinated enough. You don't need to worry about those internal thoughts being your own. They're not. They're just what someone else tried to project on you. You need to reject those thoughts. They're not your own. And you're ready to go. So let's pull some zodiac signs to see what... who they are, and for you to better identify them. And they can be one of these 3 zodiac signs somewhere in their birth chart. So let me shuffle these cards around. We've got Sagittarius, Aries, and Capricorn. Very, very cool. Okay. Guys, if you enjoyed this reading as much as I enjoyed giving it, please give a like and subscribe. It helps out like you would not believe. But either way, guys, have a beautiful day. I'll talk to you in the next one. Let's get ready for group number 4. Group number 4. Let's answer the question, will you meet someone new and soon? Okay, your oracle card is listening. Okay, I do not get listening a lot. That is really interesting. Oh, 5 of Swords in reverse. These two go together. I can already tell you that right now. Okay. Oh, the Tower. 6 of Wands upright. Tower upright. 4 of Wands upright. Look at that. That is a beautiful ending. 8 of Wands upright. Okay, so This is really cool. Let me just look at a few things to make sure I'm telling you the right information. Yeah, okay, so I know how this is gonna go. So initially, I was thinking it had something, I would be telling you that you would be meeting somebody, but they wouldn't be new. It would be more somebody from your past, especially when I see them being close to home. But the tower is like the ixnay on that concept and decision. And we're gonna go with number two, door number two, which is about one, yes, you are going to meet someone new, but the soon part is more up to you. That sounded very rhymey and I didn't mean it to. Did it again! Okay, so Five of Swords in reverse. This talks about reconciliation with whatever past resentments you have. Now, something to note here that's really important that you're going to have to just kind of face and deal with is this is talking about overcoming a bigger concept rather than your actual direct confrontation with somebody else and what they did to you. And so let me think of an example here. So let's say somebody wasn't very nice to you and was mean to you, and we're talking in any type of situation. This could be when you were kids, there was a bully or whatever. Whatever it is, over time, when this was upsetting for you, it made you feel kind of angry for the experience you had as a kid. This isn't about overcoming your feelings to this personal person. It's about saying, should I hold on to this feeling itself and these experiences any longer? There is a point now where I can choose to let it go because I've allowed it to get so big. It's a concept. It's more than an individual experience. It's a concept and I need to overcome it. This can also refer to kind of a bitterness. So this is the thing that's kind of preventing you timing wise, and this is your wall, so to speak, of experiencing everything else. Now, Spirit and Oracle card over here have advice for you via how to overcome this, because the main thing that is going to help you overcome this is about listening. But the way this card expresses itself is that there are times when you're going to need to, stand up for yourself, tell somebody off for treating you a certain way, blah, blah, blah. But we're past that now. Now is the time to shut up. The best way to put this is you're going to experience information by listening that will give you the tools you need in order to heal. But this isn't direct information like guidance. This is information where you're being quiet, you stop being in your own head, you just hear what others have to say, and maybe you're listening to a podcast or a TV show or whatever, and somebody says the right combination of words that gives you what you need to be able to move on and let go. But it doesn't mean the information you're being given will directly pertain to your situation. It's just for whatever reason it resonates with you. So take time to try to give whatever's bringing you down and kind of causing you to stir in it, so to speak. Give that less attention. Look around you. The information's there. Listen. It's going to be the thing that's going to heal you, because going over and over and over in your head about how you didn't like how something made you feel, or you didn't feel something was fair, whatever the situation, isn't the solution. You could see it that way. It's not making anything better, it's making it worse, and this is the better way to take on that information that you need in order to heal. So, once that's healed though, keep in mind, sometimes I'll have tarot that doesn't mean there isn't someone around the corner, but when I'm getting just such a small factor of the spread is just like, oh, by the way, you need to deal with that. This lets me know that your information you need to hear and your ability to, in order to let go of this, is like right around the corner. This is like not a big deal to like push this out. Once you do, boom, this person is going to come into your life very fast. And with the Tower being here and the Eight of Wands being here, this is a huge relationship. This is not only significant. Now, I can't get, because you don't have the right combination of cards for me to exactly sit here and say like, oh, this is a soulmate or twin flame connection. Again, doesn't mean it can't be. It's just saying that this is the type of relationship. A lot of positive cards, may I add, but the type of thing that changes your life dramatically. This is more than, many people feel their life has changed for the better in a dramatic, emotional way by sharing things with someone else, but they're still going about their daily routine. This is like you quit your job and move to another country or city, and now you never thought you would be doing this for this other person, and now suddenly you have a whole different career. This is like dramatic changing experiences because of this person. Now, with the Eight of Wands being here, this is a relationship that will move incredibly fast. Expect you and them to move into the bedroom pretty quickly if that's what you want. It looks like it will be a very fun time. And this is also a positive sign I do want to add. Sometimes people have rules to themselves, and they think that in some cases that would hinder their relationship. It won't. Go for it. It's a good thing. This is also a relationship that moves so quickly because of you go on a few dates, and before you know it, you're like officially announcing yourself as a couple, and for sure even contemplating the concept of moving in with each other soon enough after that. And it's very quick. But this points to a classic, beautiful whirlwind romance. You truly will feel swept off your feet in the most romantic and quick way possible. Like I said, both here and here, this is a very fast, instant meet cute and connection and building. It's going to be huge. The interesting thing that pops up here and here in the Four of Wands and the Six of Wands is about this sharing your relationship with other people. And I don't mean referring to like any exes popping in the, vicinity. I'm more referring to the fact that there's going to be a lot of like dating, and then dating with friends. So you'll be showing a lot of your activities dating wise will be like, maybe you go and meet a bunch of other friends at the movies or a bonfire or whatever, and everybody is just going to be so pumped that you two as a couple are together, and there you definitely are the life of the party and share a lot of happiness and memories with other people. It's like you have two lights, and when they get together they explode like beautiful shining stars into suns or whatever. I mean, technically that's not a thing in science, but I'm being technical here. So there's a lot of sharing it with other people. There's just a lot of, both of these cards point to just a general sense of celebration, lots of partying, lots of fun times as soon as you get together. So expect it to be less about connecting on this emotional deep level and more about having just like the greatest time of your life. Like I said before with the Six of Wands, this is going to be a relationship that makes you very popular. It's going to really expand your friend group with their friend group, as well as just be kind of like the life of the party, and everyone kind of holds you so idyllically high. So expect to be both popular and kind of admired for it. And also expect in the Four of Wands that they are a lot closer to you than you are aware of. This is to the type of situation where maybe little did both of you know you were passing each other every day on the college campus or your way to work. Or maybe both of you just hadn't taken the time to be aware of one another, and maybe your friend at work was always the one that helped them, and you didn't formally get to meet them or help them out at your job or whatever. But whatever it is, they are close by. So expect them to live close by, be close by. It's just going to be really great and positive and very significant and huge and life-changing in the best possible way. So yeah, let's pull some zodiac signs to better identify them so you'll be able to know them when they're coming. This is going to be somewhere in their birth chart. One of these three signs. Shuffling these cards. Okay. We've got Gemini, Capricorn, and Pisces, and for whatever reason Spirit is telling me to pull one more, which is Scorpio. So that makes me feel like Scorpio is kind of significant. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this reading as much as I did. Please give it a like and subscribe. It helps out like you would not believe. Either way, I hope you have a wonderful day. It was lovely talking to you. See you in the next one. Bye!